Good evening to everyone. I'm glad to see all of you here on my webinar. First of all, for the newcomers, I want to say that English is not my maiden language. That's why please apologize if I will say something wrong. But I will try to do my best. So, dear chat, dear webinar participants, after my previous webinar, who was present, I hope you remember, on the previous webinar, I have revealed a lot of different fraud algorithms. Algorithms, how people earn money on the chat rebate, how they earn money on the Amazon, PayPal, and many other anti-fraud systems. Yeah. And also not only the white hat and even the black hat algorithms was revealed. Yeah. After that webinar, I have received a lot of messages, really a lot of messages, more than ever. And most of those messages was something like, Vector, thank you, give me please more details where I can find info, about the anti-fraud systems. How did you, where did you get this info? Yeah. So today I want to show you a few tricks how you can grow in this I can even say in this science, in the science of anti-fraud. First of all, we need to understand what is the source of the anti-fraud new features. Yeah, if we will take a time machine and we'll, for example, go back to the year 2016, 2017, yeah, who knows me from these years, you can remember that there was a lot of new techniques each year, yeah. For example, in the year of 2017, we have described audio fingerprint, Uber cookie, which was compared with the phones, duplicable phone fingerprint, and much more. Yeah, and now the situation is completely different. And the situation is different, and I will tell you why. Because nowadays the fingerprinting is not the main goal of the anti-fraud systems, and I will tell you the reason why. Just imagine that all of the fingerprints that exists right now can be spoofed in very simple way, only with your hands. You don't need any anti-detect. You don't need any even extension in your browser. You can spoof any fingerprints just by your hand. So how do you think, for example, we will take the Amazon or Google, yeah, the companies which made billions of dollars of profit, they will use these old techniques. They will use these non-stable solutions. Yeah, the answer is no. But something must came. Yeah, something new must appear, and I will show you these new features. Yeah. First of all, where you can find the information. All of the people here are different. Someone wants to get a simple solution. As I was always saying, stupid people want simple solutions. Another people, they want to have a new info. They want to grow. They want to learn how the anti-fraud system works, and indeed it's very interesting and it's extremely profitable because, for example, you will try to, okay, let's take an Amazon just for example. One guy, just imagine this guy name is Sam. Yeah, Sam is making for example, just making Amazon accounts. Yeah, he just registered Amazon accounts. For example, professional seller accounts, yeah, and just sell it on the market. That's easy, yeah. You can make 10, 15 accounts per day, and each account will cost around $250 till $300. You must spend from $100 to $150 to create it, but your profit will be $100 till $150 from each account that you are selling. Yeah, this is the, for example, algorithm number one. The algorithm number two is to make Amazon servers and sell them. You can make, for example, $30 or $40 per server, yeah, if you will use the Amazon AWS. Completely the same system, but completely different money, yeah. And for example, if you will know how the Amazon Lambda will work, you can make, for example, $5,000, $6,000, yeah. So, as I'm saying, once again, the same system, but different algorithms. When you know how the system works, you can make much more money. And my goal here is to give you an information. Give you an information how the system works. Because when you understand how the system works, what is inside, there will be no problems for you to do anything with it. Yeah? So let's start. How did anti-fraud system develop new user identification techniques? They cannot just create something, yeah? You can create, for example, even you, all of you here, you can create a lot of new fingerprints. For example, you can take Canvas and compare it with the font fingerprint and say it's new fingerprint, Cafon fingerprint, for example, yeah, or Fontavas fingerprint, something like that. You can take audio fingerprint and WebGL, compare it, and get the new fingerprint. But it will always be a shit, yeah? So anti-fraud systems, they surveillance system depends from most of the only one project. And all of you knows this project. I will show you this project. This is it, the Chrome browser. Actually, all of the Chrome is the most popular browser in the world, yeah. Even the Microsoft Edge, which was built on the Chromium project, the Microsoft, big company, didn't even can to create their own browser. So they created first shit, which name is Internet Explorer, yeah. After that, they created the Edge, but their original Edge was also a piece of shit. So that's why they came to the Google and they are using the Chromium project. Yeah. So all of the browsers, as I said, they depends from the Chrome, because even Mozilla Firefox must do something like Google Chrome, because if your website will not be, if your browser will not be compatible with the most popular websites, it will be a problem for your users. Yeah, so that's why they are trying to be like Chrome. But the Chrome is the best and it's the main player. So you can take this link, yeah, and you can find 4 different Chrome channels. The first is the stable channel. Stable channel, what does it mean? It's the stable browser version, which, for example, is being used now by me, yeah, or by any one of you. Not such interesting for us, but the next channel, beta channel, is extremely important, because on the beta channel you can find nightly builds and you can see what will happen in the future with your browser. For example, if Google Chrome will invent some kind of new IPA or some new features in the browser, the anti-fraud systems will also learn and will also try to use this new API or new technology to get the information about the users. You know what I mean? So that's why all the anti-fraud systems, they are watching about Google Chrome updates and about their technologies. And they try to use them to identify us. That's why almost every day I'm starting my day from reading Google Chrome change logs. And for example, if someone of you have some kind of statistic, yeah, for example, you can compare your stats with the Chrome browser updates. And you can see that when some update will came, you can have some problems in the work. Yeah. So this is the channel number 1. The link is in the chat. You can find it. You don't need to input it by yourself. Yeah. So I really recommend to use the beta channel to see what will happen in the future and what new features will Google Chrome use, because it's extremely important. And if you have ever heard about the Google Fugu project, it also comes at the beta channel. Google Fugu, as if you don't remember, what is it? Google Fugu is the project which main goal is to give websites ability to use user hardware. Yeah. So the dev channel is the channel for developers, and Canary build. Canary, it's a completely different browser. It's a browser for the technomaniacs. Yeah. So if you like new technologies, you can use the Canary. And also Canary, for example, if we will compare it with the stable channel, yeah, Canary will, for example, will have more success rate. For example, if you're working with the Microsoft, if you're working with the Amazon AWS, as I said before, and even with the DigitalOcean, if you will work with the Canary, you will have much more success rate. But there is a few tricks which I will show you right now about the Google Chrome. You must be careful with this project, and I will now show you why. I will start my screen sharing. Hold on. Oh yeah, it starts. I hope everyone see it. So this is one of my browser profiles. As you see, I'm using Chrome, the stable build. Let's try to imagine that we need to download Google Chrome. I will now show you. We will go to the address bar and input download Google Chrome. We will go, for example, not for the advertised link, just for regular link, yeah? We now can download the Chrome. Wait for a few seconds. It will start. I hope so. Oh yeah, it starts. Don't mind that there is number 12. It's because of my previous Russian-speaking webinar. And so this is the build of Google Chrome. Nothing special, yeah? But we need to check it. I will now change my to the details, yeah? Oh, let's see. For example, Chrome setup number 12. If we'll press right mouse button and go to the properties, we can find the tab which name is file hash. Yeah, file hash is the tab which comes from the additional software which name is HashTab. Yeah, so all of you can install the HashTab application into your operating system, and you can find the MD5 hash of every file. Take a look on this hash, yeah? I will copy it and input into the chat, yeah? Okay, we have this MD5 hash. Let's start again, and we will download one more Chrome number 13. Okay, let's check it. Chrome number 13, we will go to the properties, file hash, and as you see, completely same MD5 hash. Nothing special. That means that Google Chrome will give the same setup file for any users. Yeah, that's pretty cool. But this is lie, and I will show you now why. We will go to the downloads. You see, there is two files that I downloaded 1 minute ago. We will press right mouse button on the link, and we will select copy link address. And I will input this link address into the notepad. Do you see this? The pretty big link, yeah? But I see some kind of app GUID. What is it? How do you think? Strange, yeah? I will now copy this value, copy this, and we'll input it into the chat, yeah? You need to remember it. No, you don't need to remember it. You can find it, yeah, in the chat. Some kind of app GUID. What the fuck is it? Also, there is another ID, IID, as you can see here. Some strange ID also. Okay, let's note it. I will also put it into the chat. Okay, we have two interesting IDs. What is the source of these IDs? Let's investigate. We will also go again to the Google Chrome downloading page. We will press on this lock, yeah, press mouse button on this lock, and after that we will, press on this lock, and we will choose cookies, yeah. Let's choose cookies, and we will select www.google.com, extended cookies, and as you see, IID. This is the IID. I will copy it and then put into the chat. As you see, in my cookies, IID is completely the same that has been used in the download link. Interesting thing, yeah? And I will show you now one more trick. I will now delete all of those cookies. So, as you see, cookie was deleted, yeah? I will now refresh the page and start downloading Chrome again. So, as you see, Chrome number 14. That's the 13, that's the 14, yeah. Okay. Chrome number 14, let's check the MD5 hash. You see it? I will now copy this value and input it into the chat. Completely different value. What the fuck does this mean? That means that also let's check the download link. I will copy the new download link, copy link address. We'll put it here. Yep, as you see, app GUID is completely the same as in the first case. You see this? Absolutely the same. I will tell you what is it a little bit later. And the second value is this 7BCC3D. I will copy it, put it into the chat, and I will check again my cookies. Cookie IID. Put it into the chat. And as you see, the completely same value. What does it mean? That means Google Chrome will always give a people a different setup file depending on their cookies. And also, important thing, if you will take a look on this ID, which name is AppGuide, yeah, AppGuide was the same in in the first case and in the second case, even after I cleaned the cookies. What is the AppGuide? AppGuide, it's ID of my original browser, of this browser, you know? So even that I don't have a cookies, but my browser has a specific ID, which is inputted into the download link, yeah, and which is compared with the completely new ID, which comes from my cookies. So that means Google will give specific unique file for me, which contains my previous Chrome ID and which contains my new Chrome ID. And for example, it will be something like that. Let's try to draw it. This is me, vector, yeah, and this is my browser with ID. Where is my AppGuide? Once again, sorry. Copy. Chrome AppGuide. So this is my original browser, yeah. From this original browser, I want to download a new browser, which will has a different ID, but will also contain information about my previous ID. So when I will do something bad from the new browser, yeah, Chrome number 2, it's some, I don't know, maybe let's make it like that. Yeah. If I will do something from the new blue Chrome, yeah, then this Chrome will also contain information about my previous Chrome ID and about my cookies. That's why Google will always know who I am, even if I will clean my cookies, even if I will use the incognito mode, even if I will create the new profile in the browser, and even if I will download and install completely new browser. If I will use Edge, the situation will be similar. Not 100%, but similar. Yeah, you can test it by yourself. That means when you are trying to use the Google Chrome to defeat the Google anti-fraud system or any anti-fraud system which is inside the Google ecosystem, always you can just forget about any fingerprints. That's the bullshit. That completely useless bullshit, because Google always know who are you, depending on those IDs. And also, that's not the last trick that Google use against us. Let's first, we will open the developer console. You can open it with pressing F12 button on your keyboard, yeah. And let's go to the YouTube. YouTube. And in the developer console, we will go to the network tab. As you can see, there is a lot of scripts, lot of other shit. Let's try to find one more interesting ID. Here it is. We will choose the network tab, name youtube.com, and in the response headers, no, not in the response headers, in the request headers, excuse me. In the request headers, you can find the ID, you can find your cookies, as usual, yeah. And also you can find this interesting value. This is a pretty old value. As I said, I didn't say it before, but information about the Google surveillance system and information about that Google always give you a new, always will know who are you and always give you an unique setup file was published by me 2 or 3 years ago. But people, I don't know why they doesn't mind about it, and they are trying to change, for example, the canvas, which is completely useless right nowadays. Yeah, but I want to tell you once again, and I will try to learn you how to review those IDs. Sorry for my English. So the next unique value is xclient data. Xclient data is the specific value which was created by the client variations. As you can see a little bit lower on my screen, there is active client experiment variation IDs. So the xclient data is the unique ID which can be used to identify user inside the Google ecosystem. It's always unique, and it contains information, encrypted information about your hardware, about your location, about your regional settings, and much more. The Google always say that we don't collect the data, it's only our own experimental ID and other bullshit, yeah? But on every Google website, you can find this ID. And let's imagine, yeah? What will happen with Vector not on the Google website? For example, Vector wants to relax, and Vector will go to the Pornhub. Pornhub. And Vector will go to the Pornhub, yeah? Vector thinks that nobody will know about it except the Pornhub. But with the Pornhub also have a piece of Google, yeah, which name is, I will now change the color, which name is Google Analytics. Google Analytics. That means if someone, for example, if me, I want to go to the Pornhub or any another website which contains Google Analytics, Google Analytics can use this ID, xclient data, yeah, and can identify me even if I will change all of my fingerprints. So that's it. If Google will cooperate with Amazon, then Vector will not be able to bypass it. Just a simple example. You can, but I will tell you, you can just change your xclient data very simple. You just need to launch Google with a specific flag, but that doesn't. But I want to tell you something different. Google has a lot of specific and hidden IDs inside their ecosystem, inside their cookies, and inside their browser. Never mind, it's Chrome or it's Edge or any another browser. Google will always know who are you. And where did you can get the information about this Google surveillance system? This is the source number 2 in our webinar. First one was the Google Chrome changelogs, yeah, which can give you acknowledge what will happen in the future. And the second one is pretty simple. It's the Google Help. You can just, for example, Google any value. You can just take a look about Chrome features and the Google explanation about those features, and you can find a lot of new info. You can even find the info that I didn't know. I certainly, but I will be honest with you, you will not find it. Also, for example, if you want to try it, I recommend to all of you, you can investigate the information about Google DNS. You will be surprised how many IDs the Google DNS, I mean 8888, yeah? The most popular DNS in the world. You will be surprised at how many information about the user will be collected with the Google DNS. So the DNS, it's also very, the Google DNS, it's also a piece of user identification, even without this software, yeah? So you need to remember, source number 1 is the Google Chrome changelog. Source number 2 is the Google Help. You can find a lot of info there. But let's proceed, yeah? I will now open the documents which you can find in the archive. I have posted the link in the start of this webinar. The link name is all PDFs. Yeah, so you can find a few folder inside this archive. The first one was anti-fraud folder. Let's take a look what is inside. In the internet, you can find a lot of documents, a lot of info, but most of those info is a complete bullshit, because you will find old info, or you can find info from some low-level university, or from some kind of conference or some kind of webinar, yeah. So I took the most important documents, the most important information for you, and you can. This is the English-speaking information, English language information. But if you are not familiar with the English, you can just use the Google Translator, and Google Translator will give you an ability to translate PDF file. So first one is the Bot Finder. Bot Finder is the new system which was developed in China, and the Bot Finder will help websites to fight against the bots. Sometimes users are missing anti-fraud system and anti-bot systems. If we will take year 2021, the bot traffic in the whole internet, bot traffic takes 54% of all the traffic. So that means 4% more than real people. And the websites doesn't love bots, because bots can send spam. Bots will not give the money to the websites. Bots will do a lot of illegal activities, like a crawling, like a scanning, and other shit. That's why anti-fraud system, that's why websites will try to fight the bots. And sometimes when you're trying to register the Gmail without an SMS, you will fight against the anti-bot system, not anti-fraud system. So this document, which describes Bot Finder, contains information about how the anti-fraud system, Bot Finder is the most valuable anti-bot system in the world right now. So in this document, you can find information about how they decide that you are bot or not. Extremely important for your self-education. Let's go forward. Excuse me, I have something like a flu, so I must drink a lot of water. So sorry. The second document is extremely, for me, it's extremely Interesting, because it contains and describes information about the new technica, which name is CPU fingerprinting. You can say, Vector, 15 minutes ago you said that the fingerprints are bullshit. Yes, I say that, and I will say it one more time. Browser-based CPU fingerprinting is the new technica, but I have never spotted the website which uses this technology. Yeah, but for the self-education, it's important, and I recommend you to learn it, because maybe who knows? Only Google knows. Maybe tomorrow or after 1 month, some websites will use this technique to identify users. Yeah, and with this document, you will be ready and you will know how to fight against it. Little spoiler, you can fight with this fingerprint with the virtual machine. Yeah, but also extremely important document from the year of 2023. The last document is the most important, then you can find anywhere. Detecting obfuscated fingerprinting scripts. What does it mean? What is the obfuscation process? Obfuscation process, it's the encryption process. It allows to hide what script contains. Yeah. So if we will, as I said again, if we will sit on the time machine and go to the year of 2016 and 2017, there was pretty easy to detect what websites, what kind of IDs the websites wants from you. Yeah. There was a few extensions like a Don't Fingerprint Me for Google Chrome, FPMon for the Firefox, FP Glove for the Firefox, FP Radar for the Firefox, and many others. Yeah. When you will launch this extension, you can see that, oh, websites, the website, for example, Amazon, want to take your canvas or and WebGL. Oh, that's good. We will try to spoof it. But now the situation is a little bit different. And most of the valuable and important scripts are obfuscated. And I will tell you, now show you why. Let's imagine that, now vector, it will be anyone but not vector. Some guy, yeah, just some guy. For example, some guy wants to bypass the Google, still Google. This is the Google, yeah. Just imagine google.com, and google.com contains GS number 1, GS number 2, GS number 3. Yeah. So let's imagine that Google contains a few JavaScripts which can be seen by the some guy, yeah, and that's it. Pretty easy to bypass, really. But the reality is a little bit different. There was, oh my god, where, shit, excuse me. But in the Google, there is another guy. Oh my god, terrible, sorry. There is another guy, and this guy is evil. Yeah, and this guy makes those 3 JavaScripts, but also he made JavaScript number 4, which has been obfuscated. That means when some guy will try to reveal what does the google.com contains, he will he will find those three scripts, which are actually just a honeypot. For example, in the scripts contain information that websites is using font fingerprinting, yeah? So some guy will see, oh, google.com uses font fingerprinting. That's pretty easy. I know how to spoof it. I will open my fancy anti-detect browser, change the fonts, and will bypass the Google. But he fucked. Because in the JavaScript number 4, there was completely different techniques which allows to reveal some guy IDs, which can allow to give some another guy more information. And because this script was obfuscated, the some guy doesn't know the information which JavaScript number 4 contains. And also those shitty plug extensions like fpmon, unfingerprint me, they will also doesn't see it. So this document describes how it happens and how can you fight against it. Detecting obfuscated fingerprints is extremely important for us because it gives us much more abilities to analyze the websites. And on my personal experience, I can tell you that 7 websites from 10, yeah, if we'll take 10 websites, 10 top websites, 7 the websites from them will use obfuscated scripts. And you can deobfuscate it in the JavaScript. That's pretty easy. But in this document, you can find the information how to make it. Yeah. Okay, let's close it and go and proceed. The next folder is the folder security. It not belongs to the anti-fraud topic of today's webinar, but also it's like some bonus, yeah? Let's start from the macOS. When you're working with the macOS, sometimes you need to get more privacy and more security than any another user, yeah? And you can use this guide. This guide was created by the National Institute of Standards and Technologies from US Department of Commerce. So you can believe this document for 100%. Don't mind that he's a little bit old, you can find the new one. No, I'm joking, you will not find, only I have this. But even if you will use the new operating system, you can use this document to make some kind of hardening of the macOS systems. There is only 130 pages, so it's not such a big guide, but it will definitely make your operating system, Apple operating system, more secure and more private. So this is the little bonus I recommend to all the people who are using the Apple devices. Use this guide to improve their privacy. Also, I want to tell you, don't believe to some kind of software which has only one button, which you can press and you will be anonymous. As I said before, stupid people wants to find the simple solutions. The next document is about the Windows security. So there is a 2 type of documents, Windows 11 security book. As you know, there is now Windows 11 is the most modern operating system. And in this security book, you can find information about the hardware hardening, operating system, application, and much, much more. So I recommend to all the people who are using Windows 11, read this document. But also, I want to warn you that this document doesn't contain information how to turn off the telemetry. So for the telemetry, you need to find solutions on the GitHub. That's the best way. It's not such a big problem, so anyone can use it. I don't want to spend the time to describe it. The next book is Windows 10 for beginners. It's a little bit old guide from the year of 2018, but also if you are beginner, that will be very useful for you to improve your privacy. Because the Windows, for example, in many security experts say that Windows, macOS, and Linux can have almost same security level if they will be tuned by the professional. So if you want to use Windows, not a problem, just use those guides and they will always in your mind and you can improve your privacy anytime. The second guide is also for beginners but contains a little bit more information and is a little bit bigger. Yeah, only it's 50 pages, but also recommend to you. And for the November 2020 is the date of this guide. That's okay. This guide is 2 years old, not a problem, because it contains information about the Windows 10. So every information here is can be used nowadays. The last one guide. As maybe you know, I'm living in the Amsterdam in the Netherlands, yeah, and our local Netherlands police, has made this guide, which has a very interesting name: browser anti-fingerprinting as a pathway to the impersonation and fraud. That means in this guide, which contains only 88 pages, you can find information about anti-fingerprinting, about the tracking techniques, about any other, much more than you can imagine. And this guide was used by the local Netherlands police when they are trying to find you, not you, find some bad guys, some gangsters, yeah? But if you will learn it, you will know how the police works, how the police will try to get the bad guy identity, and what they will do with it, yeah? So this is the extremely important guide, because the technique which was described in this guide was also being used by the German police, by the French police, by the even United Kingdom police. It's different from the United States, I will tell you clearly. United States has much more information in the guide, but I will not share the United States police guide, because it's information for my private course. If maybe you have heard, from the 10th of March, I'm starting the big 5-month educational course. And also I will show the police, how the police works in the United States. Yeah. But for the Europe, this is the best guide you can find. It contains really a lot of exclusive information. And it was not some kind of amateur. Yeah. It was written and used by the local Netherlands police. So let's proceed and go to the special service. Always when you are trying to bypass something or use some kind of website, you want to bypass some website rules, you must be ready that sometimes the special services may be interested in your ID. Yeah. So the first guy is cybercrime psychology. Cybercrime psychology. This guide was created in the 29th of June of year of 2022. This guide describes how the even machine learning works. Yeah, there is a lot of features in the anti-fraud system which was based only by the which was based only on the human mind. Yeah, so this psychology guide will describes a lot of interesting things that all the users can be all the users doing. Yeah, and if you will learn this guide, you can find a new info how to bypass the anti-fraud system with even with the machine learning or with the artificial intelligence. Extremely important. Just for example, when you're trying to register the when you're trying to buy something on the Amazon, you can find even information about the Amazon in this website. Yeah, what will do by the what actions will be done by the regular user, or what actions will be done by the fraud user. So very good guide. The next one is the Department of Justice from the United States also. This guide doesn't contain a lot of technical information, but it contains new threats and new trends in the fraud in the internet. So I recommend to read it like a story of the Harry Potter, something like that. You can find a really interesting info here, and also a few tricks how the United States special services works. Let's proceed. Payment threats and new trends. Also extremely important guide, which was created at November 23 of year 2022. This guide contains information about the payment fraud. So always when you're trying to use the virtual credit card, when you have some kind of problems with the bank transfer, you can find the answer why it happens in this guide. Really cool guide. And also my recommendation is to read SEPA CHEMS. I'm sorry for my English. Just read information about SEPA. SEPA is the transfer inside Europe. Yeah, and when I try to find more information, and I have found that people are making fraud or for millions, not just some kind of shitty carding to card some kind of iPhone for $1,000. The real criminals make much more money in this more simplest way. And in this SEPA treat, you can find more information about it. So the last file is a pedophile. This file contains, it's the biggest guide, which contains 164 pages. And this guide explains how the special services are hunting pedophiles. Why it's important for us? We are not pedophiles, but you must understand that when you are trying to create a lot of Google accounts without an SMS, there is no some kind of policeman or special agent Google, yeah, which will hunt you. No, because it's legal. But when you're working with the bot detection system, when you're working with the anti-fraud systems, they are using same techniques which also been used by the special service. And in this guide, which was dedicated to the online child sexual explanation, investigation of online child sexual explanation, you can find a really lot of technical things, and you can learn how the surveillance system works, how they are working, for example, here, how they are working with the Tor I2P, and what kind of software they are using, what kind of problem this software contains, and many other info. So I recommend this guide to be read, by any one of you. And that was the last guide for today. Today's webinar will be very short, only 1 hour, because, as I said before, this webinar was based on the previous webinar in which I have described how the fraud works, yeah, and what is the black hat algorithms, how the people make money in the black hat, how they make money in the white hat algorithms, yeah. So I recommend to all of you to read this information because it's the most juicy information, most important information that you can find nowadays on the internet. Also, I have much more info, but I will, if you will like this webinar, I will give you more info on the next webinar, yeah. And also, if someone here is a student of my course, you don't need to wait for the next webinar because we are starting in the 10th of March, and you will find a really lot of secret documents which came from the police, which came from the secret services, and from many other sources. So guys, that's it. 1 hour passes. Thank you so much for staying with me and this beautiful Monday evening. I hope you like my information. So describe in my channel and I will be glad to give you much more info because my brain contains a lot of info that you can not even imagine. How interesting is it? Thank you so much. It was Vector T13. Bless you, stay safe, and have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.